Into it, this is my team that I would have playing against Everton. By the time this is out, there won't be too long until West Ham take on Everton at the London Stadium in a massive game, a game that ultimately could secure West Ham in the Europa League. Kind of. You feel that if we go and beat Everton and we put some distance between us and them, that we will go and finally achieve that. But of course, we're going to talk about the team that I would like to see play against Everton. I've covered what Everton play like, and you can check that out in the card that I'll stick on one of the top corners in a minute. But let's get into the West Ham side. Lucas Fabianski in goal. I think aerially is where the question marks will be regarding how Everton can try and trouble Lucas Fabianski from set pieces, from free kicks with somebody like a Gylfi Sigurdsson. If he plays, I expect him to play. And again, you look at Lucas Fabianski, particularly in that Newcastle game, and you wonder whether teams are going to target him, create those overloads in and around there. And Everton have big physical presences. There's no getting away from it. There's centre-backs in Holgate and somebody like Ben Godfrey, again, will look to get in there. And he's also got to be aware from the fact that someone like a Luca Digne will get brilliant deliveries into the box of different varieties. And again, it's going to be a game where he's going to have to be tested from set pieces and equally from open play if Everton can get the press on West Ham's final third. Right back will be Vladimir Coufal. I expect him to be tested in that battle, but in particular between him and Luca Digne, and depending on how adventurous Everton are in this game, will be a key one. I think 1-on-1, again, superb. I thought he was brilliant against Burnley regarding deliveries, and I expect that if West Ham want to try and break down this Everton side, who will get compact, will get into a 4-4-2 without possession, he is going to have to create that overlap, and we were really successful, minus a goal in that game, and you feel that if West Ham can keep getting deliveries into the box, that you will force his Everton defence into a mistake. The two centre-backs, Craig Dawson obviously picks himself at the minute, had a fantastic game against Burnley, and Issa Diop. The only reason I say Issa Diop isn't particularly a preference of mine. Angelo Ogbonna, I believe, he's still injured. This game I'd hazard a guess that it will benefit somebody like a Craig Dawson. Again, physically good, strong, interceptions, reads the game relatively well. And in terms of that aerial duel between him and somebody like a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he will thrive in that type of situation. The only concern, particularly for both of the centre-backs, but more so Issa Diop, is if Everton try and step up a little bit further forward, they use one of their centre-backs, they try to get distribution in and over that defensive line of West Ham, that somebody like an Issa Diop would switch off, and that will allow someone like a Calvert-Lewin in. Naturally, of course, it depends on the state of play and how far Everton are into West Ham's half, but again, you have to switch on, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin will look to try and peel on both the shoulders of these two centre-backs. So it's important that A, they're aware and they drop back at the correct time, but B, they're not getting pulled into a physical battle as well, because it will leave space in behind. Aaron Cresswell, it's similar to Coufal, thought was really positive against Burnley. The crosses into the box, the patience in possession, I think that's a lot to do with the man that will probably play in holding midfield, but certainly he just gives us that real added quality. And in terms of unlocking teams and breaking defences apart and getting balls into the box, both him and Coufal are absolutely fantastic from that. And I think if West Ham, if this is a tentative game and West Ham are trying to break down somebody like an Everton, they are going to need a quality ball into the box. And of course, he offers that from either set pieces, from a corner, or from a free kick. And naturally, he did get a shot that nearly went in against Everton last time out. So it's not out of the realms of possibility that he's playing in a more advanced role in this game. The two defensive midfielders are Manuel Lanzini, which I'm pleased about. I'm disappointed, obviously, Declan's probably not fit for this game. And, of course, Thomas Souček. We'll start with Manu. Brilliant against Burnley. Really composing possession. Availability. I expect Everton to try and press us from the front. They're not going to squeeze us aside. They're going to rely on their three attacking midfielders. And they're going to rely on Dominic Calvert-Lewin to try and press onto West Ham. And what Manuel Lanzini showed was a calmness in possession, the correct selection of passes as well, beating the press, which West Ham were incredibly effective at, and he was available for the two centre-backs. You'd feel that if West Ham, particularly with Manuel Lanzini, beat the press, there will be a lot of space for them to work into, a lot of space for West Ham to transition in, and it could mean that we can sit slightly deeper if we need to, and look at our ball carriers in Lingard, Antonio, possibly even Jarrod Bowen, without committing too many men forward and losing that shape. So that's what Manuel Lanzini gives you. Thomas Souček, I thought was good aerially, clearly against Burnley. I think he won 17 headers, which is fantastic, and you'd expect nothing less in this type of game. I would like to see him, and I know there is a risk involved with this because Declan isn't in this side and because Manuel Lanzini isn't isn't naturally defensively switched on as a Declan Rice is, that you could get picked apart if you start committing someone like a Thomas Souček forward. But it does add another body, adds that third man runner into the box. It will cause Everton problems. And again, where you've seen miscommunication and mistakes previously, someone like a Thomas Souček will 100% thrive on it. From set pieces, clearly he's a threat. And I'd like to see him in a more advanced position. And I feel that with Manu behind him, relatively speaking, he's quite comfortable because he trusts Manu Lanzini. They've got a good relationship. You see at times when Manu presses slightly higher, Souček will sit. So it is positive to see that relationship, but they will be under pressure from that attacking midfield three of Everton's and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The attacking midfield three for West Ham, I imagine will match up with a 4-2-3-1. I've gone for probably a little bit of surprise. I've seen a lot of people's predicted 11s. This is just what I would go for, and I'm going to explain why I feel that this would be beneficial against Everton. Pablo Fornals on the left-hand side. The reason why I say this is Everton will look to use width. Are they the best at using width? Will they stretch West Ham? Possibly not as effectively as other sides do, but you look at someone like a Richarlison, who again is dynamic, possibly looks to play on the shoulder of someone like an Aaron Cresswell. If Cresswell's pushed further forward, he will try and exploit the space, and he has got the attributes to do so. Coleman, again, coming in on the right-hand side, offers them an overlapping option. Did it well against Tottenham, giving them crosses into the box. And a lot of Everton's build-up play without somebody like a James Rodriguez is through the wide areas. And for me, Pablo Fornals off the ball defensively is absolutely superb in giving Cresswell protection. And I was really impressed with him against Burnley. I know I've said this about a lot of the players, and it's true because it was a very good performance in terms of on-the-ball quality, coming a little bit deeper, the availability of Manu Lanzini, the composure in possession. I think, and also with Pablo Fornals, I feel like he's making the right decisions now. I think it's gone through that season. He's been at the club long enough. He's working hard, and his pressing was fantastic, and he was responsible for a lot of recoveries. So again, he's multifaceted. He can try and press up against Doucouré and Allan, and he can give Cresswell protection at the right time. So that's, for me, is why he sits on that left-hand side. I've gone for Jesse Lingard at number 10 instead of a certain somebody. The reason why Saïd Benrahma, for me, doesn't play in this game is because I feel West Ham will sit slightly deeper. I feel that you're going to need some ball carriers in order to take the most of the opportunity out of the space that's available. And it's not to say that Benrahma can't carry the ball effectively or even beat men. But against Burnley, we pressed a lot higher at times. He was in the final third a lot more. He was getting on the ball. I don't think this is going to be that type of game. I can see West Ham having to keep their shape at the right occasions, allow Everton to press onto us with that attacking midfield three and try and beat it. And for me, Lingard, in terms of carrying the ball from deep, we've seen it over the past 2 months. He's fantastic and effective in that. And equally, if we do get into that final third, he is the man to either show himself, give someone like a Mikel Antonio an option and try and break Everton down, and he can offer that additional run as well into the box. So for me, I'd like to see him at number 10. I can see the argument for Saïd Benrahma because of the quality of the performance in the first half, but I've put Fornals onto that left-hand side where I feel that he'd be more favoured, and that's purely because of the defensive work rate, and Everton will look to try and exploit those areas going forward. Jarrod Bowen on the right-hand side, that's who I've brought in. So you've moved Pablo Fornals to the left, Jarrod Bowen on the right. And that is for equally the defensive work rate. I'm not saying we should be fearful of Everton. I feel like we can nullify them. And I think there's enough quality in those attacking players that I've mentioned. In terms of Bowen, I think defensively, he's going to offer a little bit of protection to Soufal with regard to somebody like a Luca Digne. And he is their outlier in terms of getting forward, getting balls into the box, the quality of deliveries. Jarrod Bowen will work hard to try and nullify him. And equally, he is going to give him some issues in terms of coming in central, dragging him out of position, and give us an option on the overlap with Vladimir Soufal. So it's important for me to see a Jarrod Bowen and a Vladimir Soufal combination down that right-hand side. And we know that his presence in the box, his finishing of late, his link-up play is all really impressive. So that's why Jarrod Bowen gets into the side for me. And of course, the only option that we can play up front, but we wouldn't have any other man, is Mikel Antonio. Hold-up play against Burnley, superb. Variability of the play in terms of peeling off to the left. Transitionally, I think is where he will come into his own. When he came on against Everton last time for the last 20 minutes, his ability just to stretch them a little bit more, to carry the ball effectively, to keep it long enough as well to get men in and around him is what will be important. And West Ham are fortunate when you look at some of the players that we have, Jarrod Bowen, Lingard, Mikel Antonio. West Ham can afford to sit slightly deeper, invite a press and beat them and carry the ball. And what you'll see with somebody like a Mikel Antonio, because of his physical presence, because of his dynamism, because of the intelligence of him peeling off to the left, he will draw that Everton back four out of shape that will be asked to go and try and press him and get close to him. And then what you'll see is the space open up for the likes of Fornals, Jesse Lingard and Jarrod Bowen to get in beyond. I feel that in this game, West Ham will cause Everton a lot more problems than we did last time out. Last time, with all due respect to Sebastian Haller, we were very slow in transition. We couldn't be effective. We couldn't exploit the space enough. And in this game, I feel like we've got the attacking talent in order to do so and cause them problems. We can take advantage of their defence that has shown significant lapses over the past few weeks. We can't switch off. Again, you look at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, they'll peel on the back shoulder. They'll try and pull West Ham and expose West Ham if they press too high, which is why I feel that we're going to come into this game and be slightly conservative. But you just look at that midfield battle. I feel that West Ham can win it, even with Allan and Doucouré. And it is an ask, absolutely. It could be a lot tighter than what I'm mentioning, but the players, the personnel, the quality that we've got, and the magnitude of a game like this, for me, is what gets West Ham over the line. So that is a team I would like to see play against Everton. Fabianski in goal, Soufal at right back, Dawson and Diop in the two centre-back positions, left back Aaron Cresswell. Manu Lanzini retains his place alongside Thomas Souček, with Jesse Lingard at number 10, Bowen on the right, Fornals on the left, and Mickey Antonio up front. Naturally, I'm sure there'll be some disagreements, so do let me know in the comment section. I look forward to reading them. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the West Ham Way if you're new. I'll be back tomorrow or even today later for the watch along. It will start at 4 o'clock with all the build up, with all the usual suspects. And there's so much. I'm actually genuinely excited for this game. Excited, nervous. We're getting to the business end of the season now, and I cannot wait. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you all shortly.